We are very close to a huge wave of good things happening for XRP that will affect most people. I'm going to talk about those triggers and our biggest enemy that's still in front of us in this video, and that resistance is maximalism in Bitcoin. I'm going to talk about whether or not this group will be able to slow down XRP in this video, talk about the XRP price chart, and what I think will happen next at the end of the movie. Your help is very much appreciated as always. Thanks a lot. Thank you to everyone who liked the movies and signed up for the channel. These two easy things help me a lot. Have you found a good place to buy XRP? If so, please let me know and I'll put the link to my best exchange in the video's description. So let's get right to it. I hope you guys like what's here. The first thing we should do in this film is talk about two big catalysts that are about to finish. The first one is the stablecoin bill. Right now, the stablecoin bill is likely to be debated tomorrow in the Senate. Now that it's been through the Senate, I think it needs to go back to the House. However, from what I hear, we will be able to move forward with the stablecoin bill as soon as it passes the Senate. This stablecoin bill is very interesting and important because stablecoins will not be done on Bitcoin. No matter what these Bitcoin maximalists think, these other chains need to have them done. One funny thing about this whole Bitcoin vs cryptocurrency network argument is that the US government is currently putting a lot of emphasis on stablecoins. You know that stablecoins aren't just on their own networks, right? They're on networks that aren't Bitcoin. We can see that the US government is giving this stablecoin bill a lot of attention right now, giving more weight to a system that depends on fast, reliable blockchains. It's clear that this is a great place for the XRP system. Also, Ripple seems to be the top bidder for Circle, the biggest controlled stablecoin company out there. It could be very easy for Ripple to become a major player in a digital dollar produced on the blockchain, which could be one of the most important short-term changes to the financial system. I believe the end goal is much greater than a digital dollar. There will be a rush to tokenize all value in the same way that there is a rush to tokenize US paper currency, stablecoins. We're still in the very early stages of this happening, but if you look at the bigger picture and think about the criticism that these Bitcoin maximalists are getting right now, they're saying that you don't need anything else and that the other networks are S networks. The funny thing is that Bitcoin doesn't let you do any of the things that everyone wants to do with tokenization and creating assets. It's important to understand this because they will keep trying to make it look like no one wants to do these things or that they can be done on Bitcoin. But this is a crazy idea. This has never been done properly on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin itself can't even handle this level of activity. Meanwhile, that's exactly why the XRP record was made if you look at it next to it. Additionally, we all know that Ripple has been working with these banks since the start to help them feel comfortable with this process so that they can create the goods that people want. I want to show you a movie that I believe is very fair. It talks about what's really important. The way people who support Ripple and XRP think is different from those who support Bitcoin. And I think this really answers your question about whether or not these people who are trying to stop the rest of the business will be successful. I'm going to show you this video clip and then talk about it. We've worked with regulators from the start, and we've done business with regulated companies like banks where there isn't a lot of regulatory uncertainty. So we think that one reason XRP has done so well is that people are starting to think, hey, wait a minute, back to your question, is XRP the next Bitcoin? To answer your question, is XRP going to be the next Bitcoin? There is a lot of value to be made in XRP if we work with the system to solve this problem and are able to solve it on a large scale, a problem worth trillions of dollars. Wow. To your right, you can see that there is some difference in the amount of maturity, understanding, critical thinking, and how the next generation system will grow. It doesn't really matter what these people say, so go ahead and say it, because what counts is what is being built and how it will help people. It doesn't matter if Bitcoin users know it or not. These other chains can solve problems that Bitcoin can't. As we've already talked about, Bitcoin can't tokenize anything, and while all of these big banks are talking about the assets they want to tokenize, guess what? They will need to be turned into tokens on a currency other than Bitcoin. And the fact that so many people want a tool that can do these things is what will make these network effects happen. And for these networks to become widely used, speaking your mind about what you value is more than just yelling and trying to get other people to agree with you. That's not even close to how important it is. That thought has nothing to do with why this technology was made in the first place. This technology wasn't made to be a chance thing that people guess about. Is that a result of how these networks have made things? Of course. I don't even use the word consequence in a bad way. The second order thing that came about when these coin networks were set up. The main idea, though, was to move money around and automate the whole tax system. And the fact that these Bitcoiners haven't even thought of this vision shows that they don't even agree with what the technology is supposed to fix. I think that the fact that they can't see that shows that they're missing the much bigger picture. What they think and say doesn't matter in the big picture. The technology will be used by those who need it. These people will look for technology that helps them solve their problems and do useful things. Bitcoin doesn't work that way. And this is exactly how Ripple has set up the XRP system from the beginning. After this, I'd like to talk a little about the XRP price chart, which is one of the most interesting in all of crypto. We have something very strange going on here. It's crazy that more people aren't noticing this. Basically, what XRP is going through now is an exact copy of what it has been through before. From 2013 to 2017, there was a huge triangular consolidation pattern. During that time, XRP broke out pretty big, tried the breakout again, and then went on to rise another 20,000%. We're seeing the same trend of consolidation right now. XRP is moving and settling right at the point where it broke out before, like it did in 2015. Do you want to know something else very interesting about when this happened and when this breakout happened? It just so happened that it happened at the same time that Bitcoin hit a new all-time high. Bitcoin is doing the same thing right now. All of these cycles are coming together perfectly, and it looks like that value will soon start to flow into XRP as people finally figure out what's going on behind the scenes. The fact that we can already see the info on-chain is pretty cool. Quarter over quarter, the number of daily active addresses on the XRP ledger went up 142%, the average daily volume went up 74%, and the market cap of ROUSD on the XRP ledger went up 304%. This means that tokenized assets, their value, and the use of XRP are all growing at high rates. The real question that everyone always wants to know is when that will affect the XRP price chart, right? And I think this is one of the easiest questions to answer, even though it might lead to the most doubt. People will know that this idea is real when all of this happens. The things we talked about in this video are going to happen. There's a strangely off-center group of people who can see this bigger picture right now, right? People who knew what Apple was going to do with the iPhone before everyone else did. People who knew about e-commerce and Amazon back when the company only sold books. They were the ones who knew NVIDIA's GPUs would be used for more than just games, right? It would lead to a revolution in artificial intelligence. People in these groups figured things out, and it was clear to them before anyone else knew what AI meant. However, those who saw the vision were able to make money when it came true. The XRP system works the same way. It has been very clear that Ripple exists. Ripple